Yeah, because a call to ministry is a call to prepare. No one is fully equipped to be a minister of Jesus Christ from the time they are called. We need to be mentored in that. We need to be discipled. Paul was an exceptional young man. Remember that Paul had been around in the Mediterranean world on at least one mission trip. I think it was on his second mission trip that he came into a town one day and he saw this young man named Timothy. So Timothy, and he said, I want you to come with me. I want to pour my life into you. So Timothy must have been unusually gifted for Paul to choose him, to travel with him, and pour his life into him. So my point is, you have an incredibly gifted young man who enters the ministry, but yet he needed Paul to train him,
Mm.
in ministry. And I can say as someone who grew up in a church. I mean, frankly, I grew up in a church of a little over 100 people. I was there Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday night, 9 months before I was born. My dad was like the leading layman in our church, so all my life I would be like the only person my age there on Wednesday nights, especially like in business meeting. I sat through a lot of business meetings, colored in a lot of zeros, in financial reports as the kid sitting on the back row where the adults had the business meeting. And so my point is, I really got a pretty good education about a local church and how a local church works and so forth, just by osmosis, by sitting there all the time, growing up in the same church. And yet, despite all that, and probably an advantage that most of our students wouldn't have, not to that extent, despite that advantage, I cannot imagine my pastoral ministry apart from having been to seminary. Now, would it have been possible? Yeah. Is ministry possible without seminary? Absolutely. Is it necessary to go to seminary to be in ministry? Absolutely not. But I know in my case, I just can't imagine how I can't imagine my life without my ministry without seminary. I would have just been so impoverished in terms of the books I was exposed to, the men I was exposed to, so the things for growth in my own soul as a man of God, not to mention ministry skills, homiletical skills, theological skills. Look, you come to a place like Southern, you've got these world-class guys who can teach you how to preach. You may know a lot of theology but nothing about preaching, or you may feel like you've got a lot of skills in terms of preaching, but your theology is not what it ought to be, and you may know nothing about the languages, and from one area to another we could turn where a person may have a lot on the ball, a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience, but not be well trained in some of these areas. So